BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you are new to me, it's the first time you're seeing my face. Hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So that's why you're here, because that's what's going to be happening. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in. The continued support, really do appreciate it. So today for you, I have my weekly wrap up. This is from November 13th through November 19th and all my reading shenanigans in between. And I have got a shit ton of stuff to talk about. So without further ado, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, and let's get talking some books. Okay, so as you can hear from my voice, I'm still rocking a cold, but even despite having a cold, I was able to complete 5 books this week, guys. 5. Granted, 3 of them were novella length, but still, I completed them. So we're just gonna dive right into it. And the first book I have to talk about was a carryover from last week, and that is Owned by a Mountain Man by Gemma Weir, and it looks like this. This I gave 3 stars. This is the second installment to the Montana Mountain Men series. This was an audiobook done by Kurt Bonham and Avery Curtis. Fantastic job on the audiobook. No issues whatsoever with that. They did fantastic. We feature an alpha hero with extreme dominance with an emphasis in ownership, like owning a person, mind, body, soul, everything. Owning them. Graphic use of sex toys, dildo, anal plugs, vibrators, so a lot of kinky stuff in this one. A lot of fun stuff. We also have an age gap of 13 years, and we feature a breeding kink in this book. So for all of you guys out there that like breeding kink recs, here you go. And if you are not familiar with a breeding kink is the experience of intense sexual attraction at the thought of it being impregnated or impregnating someone. And the kink is actually on the side of our hero wanting to impregnate his heroine. We also have a trigger for forced pregnancy and kidnapping. So we follow Huck and Cora. Huck is 34 and Cora is 21. Both people we met in the previous installment, Property of a Mountain Man, which I did do a wrap up on, and I will link the week that I wrapped that book up down below. I don't remember off the top of my head when it was, but I'll make sure it's linked down below. And we meet them actually towards the end of that book. This book takes off right where that one leaves off. So Huck has brought Cora home from the bar, making sure she got home safe. Cora is Bonnie's best friend from the first installment, and Huck is the younger brother of Bo from the first installment. He's one of the Barnett brothers, one of 7. I do not know in line where he is in age range. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't figure it out. But he's one of the 7. So after Huck brings Cora home, he notices to get into her apartment, she has a hideaway key underneath her front doormat, and that just sets him off. He doesn't think it's safe. He's like, anybody could find this. Why isn't anybody watching over you? Why isn't anybody taking care of you? Because something has snapped in him, just like something snapped in Bo. He saw Cora and he knew, this is it. This is it. And this overarching, this obsessive compulsive need to protect her and watch over her and take care of her has come into play. And it came like a wave, and he doesn't understand it. He just knows that the fact that no one's watching out for her, she's not really taking care of herself, pisses him off. And so he gets very, very angry at it, because that's not how it should be. This is Cora. Someone should be taking care of her. So he takes upon himself to start doing that and just kind of forces his way into her world every way, shape, or form. Goes to her house, makes dinners for her, changes her lock, takes her to work. So, what would be deemed great boyfriend behavior if she had wanted a boyfriend, but he started doing it after one night of taking her home. And they didn't even sleep together. He just like jumps feet first, like hardcore into it. So that's where our story really takes off. There is a lot of stuff that happens in this story, and I am going to, before I start talking about what worked and what didn't work, I am going to give you a little heads up. There's no way for me to talk about what worked and what didn't work in this book without spoiling the 3rd act breakup. So if you do not want to be spoiled for this book, please skip to the next one. I'll have it hyperlinked down below for the chapters for you. But if you just want to watch the way through, that's fine. But this book will get spoiled for you if you watch this next segment. I just want to give you a heads up. So what worked? The continuity of the storyline. This picked up right where the previous installment left off. and incorporated the previous couple really, really well. Now, you do not have to read Property of a Mountain Man to really understand the story, because you get enough of it to understand what happened in the first one to kind of understand Huck. However, I do recommend that you do read it because that's an excellent read. It was a good time. I believe I gave it 3 stars as well. And it just helps further cement this obsessive, compulsive, domineering behavior that the Barnett brothers have. Because you do meet Huck in the first installment. You get a little bit of him more in that one than you, so it kind of gives you an idea of what you're walking into with this one. But you do not have to read it if you don't want to, because the continuity is there and it's not info dumped. It's sporadically placed throughout, so you got the idea. The next element that worked was Huck. Huck's dominance, his obsession, his controlling. Oh, they were so good. Oh my God, they were good. They were awesome. I want to love Huck so fucking bad. And I emphasize that want to, because I don't. And we'll get to that. But I wanted to love him so bad because his dominance was there. His obsession was there. His controlling was there. It was just overbearing enough to where it made me feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, the way he was doing it in most aspects, I was completely cool with. I wanted to love him so bad. Oh, I wanted to. Next element that worked in this was dirty talk. This book, the dirty talk. Oh my God. Oh, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. So good. So fucking good. Huck does not give a fuck. He just lets it fly. And oh my God, the stuff he had her say was fucking on point. My husband just woke up, so that's what you see in the reflection. It was fantastic. I just had a great fucking time with it. He called her pretty much every name in the book, and it was all during the consensual sexual scenes, and that was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. Listening to this on audiobook made it really, really fun for those scenes. Hands down, this dirty talk was better than the first installment, by far, for me. Now, getting into the last element that worked. This element also doesn't work, and it just depends on who you are as a person. This element worked for its drama factor, for its progression of the story, for its characters that it was used with. Huck is very, very controlling. And this book emphasizes this ownership concept of another person. Mind, body, soul, emphasize really on the body part. And we're not just talking about the sexual, the vagina, the boobs. We're not talking about that. We're talking about everything. So the third catalyst breakup element definitely worked in regards to Huck as a character, because this is something that I would see his character actually fucking doing, because he's so obsessive, he's so controlling, and he's so dominant. But for me personally, this did not work because it pissed me off. It pissed me off a lot. And not for the actual act that he was doing. It was how he was going about doing it. So let's just get into what didn't work. So I want to emphasize this didn't work for me. These might work for other people. This stuff did not work for me. So for the catalyst for the third act breakup, you learn what it is very, very early in the installment. It's not something that comes out of blue. It's not something that's caught off guard. You learn about it. Huck finds Cora's birth control and gives it to her. But something is snapped in Huck that he has a breeding kink, and he has this idea of wanting to impregnate Cora. So he takes it upon himself to basically sex her every single morning to where she's like kind of dazed and confused, and then gives her birth control. She believes that he's giving her birth control, and he's being a conscientious, safe boyfriend trying to protect her, because they have sort of talked about kids, but she says she's not ready. She's only 21. And so the act of after they having sex and him trying to forcefully put his ejaculate back inside of her is just kind of something she just was like, okay, this is something he likes to do. We'll just go with it. I'm fine with it. I'm taking my birth control. We're okay. That's not what he's fucking doing. He is giving her the placebo pills. And if you've ever been on the pill, you have a pill for every single day, and then you have the 1 week that you're actually on your period, which is like a sugar pill. It's just to keep you in the habit of taking it. And he gives her those, and she's got like a back stock of pills. So he has 5 months supply of these placebo weeks, and that's what he's giving her. And so you can see where the forced pregnancy catalyst comes into play. Now, do I have a problem with what he's doing? Fuck yes. In real life, that's bullshit. Get fucked on that. In the book, does it work for his demeanor? Yes. What I don't like about it is that there's this concept. He knowingly, in his inner monologues, is saying, this is wrong. I shouldn't do this. She's gonna be so pissed when she finds out, but I don't care. He fucking lied to her, and he doesn't care. That pissed me off. That doesn't go with the character diagram that Weir has created for him. And that's why I don't like this catalyst, because it just invokes an attribute of a douchebag. You can be dominant. You can be obsessive. You can be controlling. You could be all of this. You don't have to be a fucking liar. You don't have to be. And also, you don't have to do this. Like, this is insane. Insane. And, of course, the catalyst happens. She finds out, and she loses her shit. And she leaves for a few days. And then when she comes back, he kind of kidnaps her before she can go talk to any of her family. And still proceeds to not listen to her. She says, you didn't listen to me. I didn't want this. And you said, fuck what you want. I'm going to do what I want. And he doesn't listen to her. But here's my thing with Cora. I was fine with Cora, giving up control to Huck, kind of letting him ramrod her life. I was fine with all that until this catalyst got put into play. And then I was like, you're so focused on taking your pill, and you constantly write, the author writes her to say, he's so good, he gives me my birth control, excuse me, every morning. And, she's so concerned about her appearance. She seems very put together in her head. How the fuck do you not realize that you're taking the placebo? I've never seen birth control pills where the placebo was the same color as the actual pills. I don't. And if you're that worried about it, if you're that concerned about getting pregnant, why would you entrust this one element to him? I understand he's all possessive and all controlling, but you can always go back in the bathroom and fucking check your shit, dude. Like, really? Really? Or better yet, get on a form that you don't have to take a pill every fucking day because you lose your keys all the fucking time. I didn't like her naiveness mixed with this catalyst, mixed with his lying. It just didn't work for me, but fuck if it didn't work for the damn story. It did work for the story. It just didn't personally work for me. It bothered me. So those are the elements that didn't work for me in this book, but I'll be damned if this book, even though it pissed me off, it kept me on my seat, it kept me engaged, and I really, really want to love Huck. I really, really wanted to. And the reason I don't is, despite what he did, because there are other books that characters do, I don't want to say worse, because depending on who you are as a person, this could be the worst thing that ever happened to you. But a lot scarier shit and a lot more severe shit. And I still forgive them. And I ended up liking that character because there were consequences. There was restitution made for their actions. There was none. She left for 3 days. That's all that happened to this man. He's not sorry. He didn't even say sorry for doing it. There was no consequences for whatsoever. So I had a huge issue with this installment because there were absolutely none. Even when Bo did some seriously mean shit to Bonnie, just kind of overriding and taking over her life, he still apologized. He said, yes, I know I'm an asshole. I don't want any space. We're not going to do this. But at least he was sort of sorry about it. This fucker's not even sorry at all. Like, that pissed me off. So this installment was not my favorite. I'm still going to continue with the series because I'm going to see where she goes with it. But if you like breeding kinks, if you like forced pregnancy, if you like alpha men, if you like controlling, obsessive, dominant men, this is an installment you might actually enjoy. It just wasn't for me, but I did give it 3 stars because I finished the book. I felt something for the book. I had something to talk about the book. So, I mean, it did its job. It did entertain me. It just also pissed me the fuck off. And sometimes you need a book that will do that from time to time. Sometimes you want to read books that are going to piss you off, just like we want to read books that are going to make us cry. We're fucking weird. It's all right. It's cool. Now, however, something that really, really worked in this book besides the dirty talk were the sex scenes. These things got a 4 on the chili pepper scale. We have very graphic language interlaced with dominance and ownership language, so really high up there. That was fantastic. And there is a very graphic scene where we get to see the use of toys, specifically an anal plug, and that thing was dope as fuck. That was a great fucking scene. I highly recommend reading this book for the sex scenes. They are on point. Huck's sex scenes are fucking fantastic. I will give that man, these sex scenes are dope as fuck. So, they were great, super hot, super spicy. Just his morals kind of bothered me. But that's all I got to say about this book. So, that was a lot for one book. All right, so the next book I completed was Not a Perfect Save by Ivy Hunt. It looks like this. I gave this 4 stars. This is the second installment to the Wrong Place, Right Time series. It's another football romance. I just kind of felt like a little football romance, something easy. We have a damsel in distress trope and a robbery situations with a guaranteed HEA at the end. We follow Ella Dixon, who was held at gunpoint during a local pharmacy robbing, and Connor Hall, who is a pro football player and 2-time Super Bowl winner who happens to be at the same pharmacy while she's there, just a couple aisles down. Ella is held at gunpoint and she does know some self-defense moves, so she goes to use them. She gets free of her captor, and Connor goes in to swoop in to try to isolate the captor, but actually trips and falls in the process. So it's a very big, huge flub up, and but eventually the robbery is stopped, and the police do come. We find out that Connor has re-injured his ankle along with Ella has injured her ankle as well. So they are both rushed to the hospital, but Connor never leaves Ella. He has Ella come in with him, and through some talking with his publicist, excuse me, through his publicist, it comes out that people have already found out about the robbery, and they know that there was a girl involved in Connor, so they think because he is out on leave right now for a ankle injury that he is now currently re-sprained, they feel like the NFL won't let him play unless they understand that it was for a good reason and it really wasn't that bad. And so they convince Ella, who actually got away herself, to say that Connor was the one that saved her, giving him like this kind of like hero boost ego thing. But the trade-off is that Ella gets taken back to Connor's house and she doesn't have to call her parents and stay at a hospital, which she's scared of. So she goes back to Connor's house because she doesn't want to be around her parents because they're overbearing. And that's where our kind of relationship really kicks off. What worked in this book? The chemistry between Ella and Connor. It's there right from the get-go. You know it's there. There's little googly eyes, and, you know, he won't let her go to a separate area of the hospital. He says, no, she's staying with me. She comes with me while they're in the ambulance. Whether it's because he wants to make sure she's okay or because he is attracted to her, you do feel like there is a pull between these two from the very beginning, which I really did enjoy. The ease of their relationship development was fantastic. It was so easy. It felt so natural and felt so real. Like, this is actually how this would probably play out. Besides the going to the house and staying there, the actual like relationship build where they're both at their own separate places now, and they're talking, they're hanging out, they're having dinner together, you know, they're just joking and being fun. It was super easy. So if you're looking for something super easy and fun to sit back and just have a good time with, this one definitely hit the nail on the head with it. There was a little bit of tug and pull, but in the early days of relationships, there is tug and pull, and you do see it, and it's really, really nice. The later plot line. The initial plot line, I didn't really give a fuck about. It's the later one that actually like sealed this book for me. Connor develops more feelings for Ella, and she's just looking for something more casual, and he really wants this relationship to take off. And so it's the pining for her and kind of like not manipulating her, but putting himself in positions where she has to deal with him, and they're working together in all these situations. So this later plot line of building the relationship really worked better for this book than actually the original one. And Ella and Connor's banter, their back and forth was hilarious. They're both sarcastic assholes, and I love it. I love it. It was great. I love their banter back and forth. What didn't work? When I was explaining why Connor had to become the hero, it probably didn't make sense to you, because it doesn't make sense to the damn book. It doesn't. There's no reason for them to have to make him the hero. He hurt his ankle in a robbery. She hurt her ankle in a robbery. Why do they have to say that he's the one that actually, like, stopped the assailant? Like, does it really fucking matter? They were both there. Like, what? It made no fucking sense. That whole thing didn't make sense at all. At all. So, like, that didn't work, and I don't think it really needed to be there. Like, the robbery, sure. The going to the hospital and Connor saying, you know, I have her stay with me, you know, she's here, blah, blah, blah. Like, I get that. Or, you know, not wanting to go to her parents' house, so she goes to his house. I even sort of get that. But this publicist coming and saying, we need you to say that he saved you so he can play in the big game. What? No, that I don't buy that. That's stupid. That's publicity, and that was dumb. Because they don't even carry it through. They do one press conference where they say it, and then after that, he starts telling everybody that he's like, actually, Ella did it herself. She got her own self out of it. I just happened to be there and held the guy back after she got away. Like, that's what I did. You know, that's it. Why did they just tell the truth? I don't understand. I didn't get that at all. For the spice scale for this, I gave it a 2 chili peppers. There was some very graphic language, but for the most part, the sex scenes were pretty straightforward, vanilla. They're not fade to black, but they're not straight graphic either. But their moments where they're together were very, very intimate. And it was very, very sweet. I like their intimacy scenes a lot more than I liked actually their sex scenes. It gave me a lot more. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. There is a third one coming out. I don't know if it's out yet because I read this on Kindle and I haven't been able to locate the third one just yet. So I don't know if it's actually out yet, but I do plan on continuing with the series when she releases the third one. The next book I completed, which was one of my first novellas of the week, was Leif by Abbi Glines, and it looks like this. So this is the novella installment in the Existence trilogy that I just recently completed, and it falls between books 2 and 3. So this is Leif's story. This is book 1, Existence, from Leif's perspective, and a little bit of book 2 from Leif's perspective. So this book really just, repeats scenes with maybe a few minor adjustments. But that's pretty much it. It's Existence and Predestined just from Leif's perspective with the same scenes. We're not getting any exterior scenes at all. Like, none. And the one that we do has nothing to do with the 2 installments at all. And it doesn't even get resolved. So, what worked is it did further Leif's character. You kind of got to see him, because he knew death was there. He knew death was following Pagan. And so you got to kind of see in his inner monologues that he's like, why is he following her? I don't understand this. Why? He didn't even know that death had fallen in love with her. And so you kind of see that question in his head, and you see that he really didn't like Kendra, which I kind of was a little shocked about. I was like, oh, I thought he was totally into Kendra. No, he fucking hates her, which I thought was kind of funny. So, and you do see some inner monologues, but it doesn't really give you, it gives you like maybe this much more to his character. Not enough to really like, yes, he's a whole nother character. No, it's not that at all. What didn't work? This installment did not redeem Leif at the fuck all. And because you got in his inner monologues, he sounded more pitiful. Like I said, he could see Death was following Pagan. He's like, why is he following her? Why is he doing this? I can't be around him. He can't see me. Like, he knows something's going on. What if he tells her? He's become a paranoid freak in this installment. I'm like, okay, well, you're not the suave, cool quarterback that you thought you were in book 1, apparently. That sucks. So if you liked Leif, this one doesn't help you like him anymore. It just regurgitated previous scenes, not much new information. I mean, straight regurgitation. That it was just repeating scenes. And the little bit of new information that we got doesn't go anywhere. Like I said, it doesn't go anywhere. We meet this one girl that comes into Villicon, and he's like, I can't get you out. I can't get you and your sister out, but I'm nothing like my father. Well, did you get them the fuck out or not? Like, what? The fuck? What was that? You just gave me some random cool storyline and do nothing with it. It has no bearing on the Existence trilogy at all either. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And honestly, this is Leif's perspective, but there is a major moment in Existence, there's a car crash where Pagan witnesses Death taking souls, and Death has already left her, stopped speaking to her, stopped talking to her, so she's going through like this, like, withdrawal almost symptom kind of thing, and she sees him and she freaks the fuck out, has to go to the hospital, threatened to be hospitalized. That's how she gets put into the mental institution. And we don't even get Leif's perspective on that at all. And he's the one holding her back from the fucking car accident. And it's not even in there. It's not. At the fuck all. Like, what? What? Really? Really, I get none of that. None. That is a big turning point in Pagan's life in that book, and I get nothing of the main dude that she was there with. Are you fucking serious? That pissed me off. But when I went to put this on my Goodreads, my edition was only like 68 pages. Their edition, and every single edition they had, was like 82. So I don't know, maybe I don't have the full edition, and that's where some of this stuff is missing. So if you've read this and you know that information is in there, then I have the wrong fucking edition. So let me know, because I will keep digging, because I really wanted to like this and I didn't. So I gave it a 1 star. Honestly, if you want to read the Existence series, you don't need this book at all. It does nothing to further the series except make you think Leif is a pussy. Really. Like, he's a bitch. He is. That's just like, I can't handle you. Go away. This is why Death was always better. All right. The 4th book I completed was another novella, and it was this guy, A Court of Frost and Starlight, by Sarah J. Maas. This is, I guess, the 4th installment to the ACOTAR series, but it's just actually a novella between the 3rd and really 4th installment, because it's just a little holiday novella. I'm reading this for the SJM read along, and I will link that down below as well. That is hosted by Jen over the book Refuge. We were reading all of the SJM, all of Sarah J. Maas's works in publication order to find connections and ties in. And I did not read this in time for the live show. I wasn't supposed to be part of the live show, so it's okay. But I feel like I read it at just the right time, because now I'm in like the nice winter solstice Christmassy spirit, and I feel really excited because if you're watching this, Thanksgiving is this coming Thursday, and I always decorate the day after Thanksgiving. So like, this just put me right in the best mindset to get ready and get all the trimmings and everything and get all my stuff down, and I'm super, super pumped about it. So I had a really good time with this. This is the first winter solstice after the war, after the end of Aka War. And we just get reacquainted with the cast, kind of see where they've been at. And we kind of have a few building blocks for future installments for Court of Silver Flames. I'm not quite for sure exactly which are, but I have an idea of kind of where everybody's at, especially Cassian and Nesta, which kind of threw me for a loop when I got to their like relationship status. What worked in this book, I loved the tender moments. I got to see so many tender moments of the inner sanctum, the inner circle, the found family. I just fucking loved it. I kind of wish she almost would have stayed away from some of the darker stuff that she did touch on in this book, because it kind of dampened that tender, holiday spirit vibe that this book was going for. But I understand why it had to be there, and I think those are where those building blocks are. But the just the gaiety that these characters had together. Cassian and Farrah trying to decorate the hall while being drunk. I just thought that was hilarious. And then Azrael has to come in and start fixing shit. And I was just like, yes, yes. And Rhysand being like, everybody's gotta be there for Solstice. Shut up. You're all gonna be there. Look, I'm really horny. I just wanna be with my wife right now, but you're all gonna fucking be there so I can have a good time with my wife. Shut up. Leave me alone. I'm tired of being this guy right now. I just want to go be buried in my wife for the next week. Ah! My books are attacking me. That was fun. Yeah, that's kind of Rhys's life in this book, is just shit keeps piling on top of me. He just was like, I just want to go get laid. Can I just go get laid, please? That's all I want. And all this stuff keeps falling on my lap, in my head. It's great. So a lot of stuff really worked in this book, especially with the characters. It felt like coming home. It felt like coming home. I miss these guys. I was so happy to visit them again. And it felt like a little Hallmark movie. It did. I got the Hallmark movie Christmassy vibes, which I really enjoyed. What didn't work was the depressing moments. I kind of wish Sarah just wouldn't have put them in there. When we visited Tamlin, I did not need to know that he was that broken. I did not need to know that he was that broken and that gone. But I'm hoping that in Court of Silver Flames, we get some kind of arc, some redemption going on, or maybe a start to it, or very future installments we'll get a redemption arc for him, because he is low. He is lower than low right now. He is more beast-like than he was in A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, he was beautiful, and I fell in love with him, and I loved him, and now he is that tortured, angry beast where he slashes everything and, like, hides away in his little cave and cocoon and, you know, like, fuck the world and everything. So he's completely gone and broken. Does he deserve every bit of it? Fuck yes. Yes, he does. But at the same time, fucking Tamlin. It's fucking Tamlin, guys. And Lucien. Oh my God. This guy can't catch a fucking break. He can't at the fuck all. And Cassian and Nesta, like, there were some bonds formed at the end of Act War. There were some, yes, they were very, very minute bonds and very, very, like, frayed threads, but they were still tied there. And it feels like something happened that shed them all. Like, they didn't want to be around anybody that reminded them of the war or anything like that. And so now we're back to square one with Nesta and Cassian. So that's where I'm walking into A Court of Silver Flames with, is that Nesta fucking hates Cassian. Cassian can't stand the ground Nesta walks on, but he still adores her. And, oh man, it's love and pain is what this book is. And it's this fucking short. How does this woman do this? I swear to God. But I did give this 5 stars. I had a good time with this. Oh no, I did not give this 5 stars. I gave this 4 stars. I gave this 4 stars just because I can take or leave this. I can. But I did enjoy some of the moments that I got from it. So 4 stars. And the last, this did get a spice rating though. I forgot, this is gonna be a spice rating. There is a single chili pepper, so not as spicy as our other books. There is a coitus interruptus scene, which was bullshit. Called bullshit. That was bad. That was bad manners on you for that one. I was very angry with her on that one. The one real main sex scene, it was on point though, because it was Rhys and Farrah, and you can't go wrong with them. You just can't. I mean, Rhys has been innuendoing Farrah the entirety of this book. And so finally we get to see everything in fruition, which was fucking fantastic. And then we learned about the element with her dresses and his mom made them. Oh my God. I about died. That was awesome. I did a full reading vlog on this book. It will be up Monday. So if you're seeing this on Sunday, you will get the reading vlog tomorrow. If it's after Monday, I will make sure it gets linked back up here in the corner so you guys go check that out. I did a full reading vlog on it. It was a good time. Not a very reactionary one because there wasn't really a lot of reactive points, but I still had a great time with it. And the last book I read for this week was Midnight Mass by Sierra Simone. Holy shit. I gotta prepare myself for this one. Okay. So since I was like doing a bunch of novellas this week, I was like, let me just get this novella out of the way because I really want to pick up Sinner. I've been told to read it. So I definitely want to try to get to it by the end of this year. And so I wanted to get this one out of the way. So this is a novella included in the Priest series by Sierra Simone. It falls between the first and second book between priest and sinner. And this is 2 years after the end of Priest is when it starts. We have graphic sexual situations, exhibitionism, triggers for miscarriages, and guilt and depression. So quick summary, 2 years after the conclusion of Priest, Tyler Bell is working for his dissertation and he's almost done. He has left the priesthood. Poppy has spent the last year working diligently on this gala opening that she's doing. They are married. They are still hot and heavy in the sexual department, but the honeymoon phase and the emotions have kind of dissipated. Now, as a couple in Priest, they always really spoke through their sexual encounters. So talking was never one of their strongest suits, let's just be honest. But the little talking that they did has kind of dissipated because they're both so busy. They're not really around each other that much. Tyler Bell, through his dissertation, he's like 10 days away from defending it. So this is like the last stretch of this thing. This is constant rewrites, constant overviews, constant meetings, all of these different things. But what has really started to happen in this quietness and the solitude of being alone with himself through his dissertation, some of what he has gone through is starting to really weigh on his mind, what he actually did, everything coming full circle, and just seeing like, did I make the right call? Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Severe bouts of guilt are coming up on him about, did he do the right thing? Is he living up to being the right husband? Is he failing at being a husband because he failed at being a priest? Just layers and layers and layers and layers of guilt in this very, very small package. What worked in this book? The continuation from his point of view. This one is told primarily from his point of view as well, just as Priest was. So I really enjoyed that. I had a great time with that. Tyler Bell's feelings about his life. Just, I feel like someone who did this, who left the priesthood, would feel this way. Someone who married a woman like Poppy would feel this way. By the way, still don't like that name. I still don't like Poppy's name. Still don't. I feel like all of his feelings are very genuine, justified, and authentic. I genuinely feel like that. So I really enjoyed that aspect. What worked the most was the third act breakup. Yeah, we have a third act breakup in this little bitty novella. The conversation during that third act breakup, that was a conversation that should have fucking happened in the first book. Tyler Bell finally comes out and says, I left my church for you. Don't tell me I don't fucking love you. And I was so fucking happy about that. Oh my God, because if you remember, and I will link down the video where I talk about Priest, in one of my weekly wrap-ups. I read it for the Mafia Romance Readathon, so I'll link that wrap-up as well down below. I did not want the HEA in Priest. It's the reason I didn't give it 5 stars, because I didn't think it needed it. I thought Tyler Bell had found his HEA. He found out he was on the path where he needed to be. So this is a continuation of the HEA that I didn't want. And I really was timid going into it. But I am so happy that I did, because I got that fucking conversation. He told her, I left my church for you. Don't fucking tell me I don't love you. And I just, thank you, God, for that. I was so freaking happy. But at the same time, Tyler Bell is guilt. He's Catholic. We're built on bread, wine, and guilt. Like, that's what builds us, all right? We have a Trinity. That's another Trinity that we have. We have a thing with Trinities. And the guilt is just over-consuming for him. But he overcomes it enough to finally say it. And the look that Sierra Simone gives Poppy, this realization, because they've been telling everybody he left the church for himself, and she knows it's been bullshit. She knows it's bullshit, because then later on, we get an epilogue of her kind of views of this final scene. And she comes out in her epilogue, and also during this big third act breakup, that I enjoyed bringing you always were selfless for everybody else, and I enjoyed that I was the one that made you selfish, that made you want to be selfish. You fucking knew what you were doing. I fucking knew it. I knew it from day one. She was not good enough for him. I fucking confirmed it. Confirmed it. I was so happy this fucking conversation happened. I was so ecstatic. And it made me actually respect Poppy more. So I still don't like her name, but I've come to kind of accept her in Tyler Bell's life. And I like what he does after this conversation. He does exactly what she asks. She goes and leaves, and they don't speak, and he doesn't contact her. So they do have their third act breakup, and I was happy. I was happy about it, but now I felt lost because I was like, okay, here's where the guilt comes in from me being a Catholic. Now I feel fucking guilty because I got what I wanted, but it's not what my character wanted. My character, for all is good, loves this woman. And she does make him happy. And now she's not. She's not with him at all. And that's really disheartening. So when they get their rekindled moment, I was so happy. I was so happy. And then she gives him a gift that he never saw coming. And that's the reason why she was being so weird, because she was scared herself. I kind of almost wish I would have gotten more from her perspective at that moment, because I really wanted to know kind of why she was so scared. She says to Tyler that she's scared of this newfound life that they're about to have. And I kind of wish I got her perspective on it. But we don't. She does say that I was scared, and that's why I was so worried. Like, you couldn't even be here for me to tell you, and how are you going to be here for me for this? And it just, they worked themselves out, and they forgave each other. And I thought it was really, really well done, the way Sierra Simone made them work together and actually talk. Not sex. They didn't talk through sex. They didn't talk through intimacy. They actually talked. And it was really great to finally see them move from this just basic sex plateau to this next level where now they can have the conversations that they really always needed to have, that their bodies can't convey. Like, these topics, their bodies couldn't convey how they were feeling. And I thought it was awesome. What didn't work? I didn't think anything didn't work in this book. I found nothing wrong with this book. This is exactly the conclusion that I needed for Father Tyler Bell. But it is a painful one. It's painful, but it does end on hope, and it ends with hope, but it doesn't start off that way. Even after the third act breakup, this couple still has some trials and tribulations to go through, and that is the part of the book that I was not expecting at the fuck all. And that's the part of the book that really resonates the most with me. The first installment, Priest, the part that resonated the most with me, other than the fantastic fucking sex scenes, let's just be honest, was that Father Tyler Bell found his path. He found it, and he was on it. And that's why Poppy bothered me, because it felt like he was regressing back. The part that sticks with me in this one is the ultimate layer of guilt. Something happens with Poppy and Father Tyler Bell, and Poppy says the words, "It's my fault." And I know what that feels like, and it sucks. And I lost it when I read this book. I did not expect that. But this book was awesome because it left me hopeful. It left me hopeful for this couple and for me in general. And Sierra Simone, just goddamn, this woman can fucking write a goddamn book. Oh my God. I fucking loved it. I loved it. And it was so short. I finished it in a day. And I am in love with Father Tyler Bell even more now. I'm in love with him even more now because of this installment. So I'm so glad I read this. And I'm so thankful this book is actually out there. But when I list off the triggers are real. So just be warned. But this book hit home for me a lot closer than I thought it was going to. And I'm so grateful for this one. So Sierra Simone, if you ever see this, thank you so much for this. I did not know I needed this, but thank you. Now it's Sierra Simone and it's Tyler Bell. So we have a spice rating, and this is 4.75 chili peppers, because if you think this book did not pack a punch in the sex department, you're fucking mistaken. This thing, for as short as it is, oh, this thing is spicy. It burns my fingers. It's so hot. It's nice. It's nice. We have an exhibitionist scene at the dinner table at Thanksgiving. So if you're looking for a nice holiday rec, this is right around Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's a nice little holiday sexcapade too. So it's kind of fun for that. But that dinner table scene was great FTD. That went right in the fucking bank. That went right there. As soon as I figured out what Tyler Bell was doing, I was like, yep, there you go, in the bank. I think he has a monopoly of the bank scenes. I'm not gonna lie to you. He probably does. I love how the intimate scenes, I'm glad the couple moved on from this, but I love how the sex scenes still convey so much of their feelings for each other, because there is one scene during the third act breakup. It's a hate scene. It's a hate sex scene. It is angry. It is violent. It is mean. It is controlling. It is domineering on both sides. And it is fucking great because it's in a room full of fucking mirrors. So yeah, it was great. It was highly... Oh, it was it was so well done. It was so well done. Sierra Simone knocked out of the ballpark with that scene. She knocked out of the ballpark with this installment. I kind of wish this almost would have been a longer installment. Like, I would have gotten a full-length 2-part book. I kind of feel like I would have loved this even more. But yeah, I didn't want Poppy and Tyler Bell together at the end of Priest. But now I'm glad that they are. And I'm glad where they're going. And I hope I get to see them again. I really do. I hope Simone's not done with them just yet. I hope we get more from them, because I don't think their story's done. The element that the story left on, I just want to see what happens. So, but that is what I read for you guys this week. Lots of stuff, a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of good and bad emotions, painful, anger, whole 9 yards. Happy-go-lucky feels, the holiday stuff, lack of I don't really give a fuck feelings. It's all across the gamut today, this week, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys all soon with another video. And do check out, keep your eyes open for that vlog. If you are checking this out on Sunday when I upload it, it will be up tomorrow. If it's not Sunday, it's probably already up. So it will be linked down in the down box below. And I will see you guys all soon in another video.